Heartwarming moment. Young girl urges lonely CEO to borrow her dad, revealing an incredible bond. In the heart of a small Midwestern town, where the sun dipped below the horizon casting golden hues over dusty streets, 10-year-old Lily burst into a world of wonder. She had a spark in her eyes, a pure innocence that seemed to radiate warmth, even against the backdrop of dwindling local businesses and whispered concerns about the future. As she ran into the community center, laughter mingled with the smell of fresh cookies, creating an atmosphere thicker with happiness than the gloom that often plagued her town. Lily's family had their own modest auto repair shop, a place made vibrant by her father's laughter and love for cars. It was more than work. It was family, and the sense of community around them was palpable. Yet, just across town, Mr. Thompson, the wealthy CEO of the local manufacturing plant, lived enclosed in his own fortress of loneliness. His grand office, filled with accolades, felt like a tomb. He was known for his wealth, but whispered about for his disconnection. The townspeople nodded with empathy when his name was mentioned. One day, while sharing a table with friends in the sunlit community center, she overheard snippets about Mr. Thompson's solitude, masked behind the shadow of his status. Her heart tightened. She felt a tug deep within her. Could a small act of kindness break through all that pain? Determined, Lily's insatiable curiosity led her to approach Mr. Thompson for a school project about leadership. As she ventured into his world, the first moment struck her, a faint smile playing on his lips as they worked together. But his eyes told a different story. They were heavy, burdened with loss and unfulfilled expectation. "Maybe you could borrow my dad for a weekend," she blurted out innocently one day, imagining her father guiding Mr. Thompson on a small-town adventure, far away from boardrooms and profit margins. At first, Mr. Thompson chuckled, unaccustomed to such a suggestion. However, he found himself intrigued by the bubbly spirit of this tiny whirlwind. Reluctantly, he accepted. What could it hurt? He mused as she beamed up at him. Little did he know, this innocent thought would open a door he had long kept locked. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications, so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As weekends rolled by, the laughter of Lily's father mingled with Mr. Thompson's hesitant chuckles. Exploring the town through Lily's eyes brought a glimmer of joy he hadn't felt in years. Yet it was bittersweet. For when Lily's joy danced like fireflies in the night, shadows crept closer. The community's warmth exposed a reality. The plant's plans for cheaper overseas labor threatened to tear the fabric of their lives apart. Lily's world was on a precipice, tangled with the man she had unknowingly begun to call a friend. In this whirlwind of hope and despair, she clutched tightly to her dreams for her father's business, while Mr. Thompson faced an agonizing decision. Could he change the tide? Would he stand by the family that had welcomed him, or would he succumb to the corporate machine? In an uncertain future, the heart of a 10-year-old and the weight of a man's choices hung in the delicate balance as their lives intertwined, each facing the truths they had to confront alone. The sun broke through the clouds the following Saturday, painting the streets with a warmth that promised a perfect day for adventure. Lily bounced on her toes outside her family's workshop, her excitement bubbling over. She couldn't wait to show Mr. Thompson the local park. It was a hidden gem, filled with laughter and life. As Mr. Thompson pulled into the gravel lot, she waved with both hands, a big grin plastered on her face. His usually stern expression softened slightly, caught off guard by her enthusiasm. "Ready for our first adventure?" she shouted, her voice bright and cheerful. "Let's see what you've got," he replied, chuckling. There was a hint of joy in his voice, and it made Lily's heart flutter with hope. The park echoed with laughter from children playing, mothers chatting, and the promise of community spirit. Lily pulled Mr. Thompson by the hand, leading him to the playground where children raced by, their shouts a melody of freedom. "You have to try the swings," she insisted, her eyes sparkling like stars. With some reluctance, he followed her. As he sat down on the swing, he glanced at Lily. She was already soaring high, her laughter ringing across the air. He hesitated, feeling awkward as he pushed himself gently back and forth. How long had it been since he let go of the weight of the world, even just for a moment? Laughter bubbled from Lily as she climbed higher, her hair dancing in the breeze. "See? Isn't this fun?" He watched her, captivated. This was a side of life he had long forgotten, the simplicity of joy. Yet a shadow tugged at him, reminding him of the factory's fate. After a while, they moved beneath a sprawling oak tree for a picnic. Lily set out sandwiches, cookies, and lemonade, her favorite treasures. "I'd like you to meet my dad next week, too. He can teach you about fixing cars," she said, her eyes sparkling with a mix of mischief and sincerity. Mr. Thompson's heart sank. He loved the thought of meeting her dad, of experiencing more of the warmth that had surrounded him since their paths crossed. But what would he say? Would he betray the hopes of this little girl by choosing profit over people? "So, Mr. Thompson, why don't you smile more?" The question slipped from her lips, innocent as always. He smiled, albeit wistfully. "I guess I've forgotten how," he confessed, the words heavy in the air. Lily's brow furrowed in thought. "Maybe you just need to play more." She laughed. "You know, it's okay to feel happy." Her words washed over him, simple but profound. In a world where decisions were based on numbers and profits, her honesty felt like a refreshing breeze. "You're right, Lily. Maybe I do need to play more." They spent hours talking and giggling, and for the first time in a long time, he felt alive again. Yet the specter of his looming decisions continued to shadow his thoughts. Would he act on the feelings of joy they were building, or would he let the weight of responsibilities crush the newfound light he felt? As they packed up to leave, the sun began to set, casting golden rays across the park. "What if you could help all of us?" Lily asked suddenly, her voice small yet hopeful. Mr. Thompson looked at her, confusion tracing his face. "Help how?" "Maybe you could make some changes at the plant. Keep jobs here. You could make a difference." She spoke with all the confidence of a child who believed in magic and heroes. Her simplicity struck him like a bolt of lightning. "Lily," he started, but her eager eyes made him pause. What if she was right? What if he could still choose a different path? Could he truly break free from the corporate mold he was stuck in? As he stared into the horizon, uncertainty wrapped around him. It was a moment filled with possibility, but also with fear. What if he failed to live up to the hopes of this sweet girl? In that stillness, he realized, change was calling him, and so was the love of a small town willing to embrace him. But what if the cost of that change was more than he was ready to face? The following week came swiftly, and the air practically thrummed with anticipation. Lily's enthusiasm was insatiable. She had crafted a plan in her mind about how best to introduce Mr. Thompson to her dad. The idea of sharing her world with someone who had begun to mean so much to her filled her with hope. Mr. Thompson, on the other hand, wrestled with confusion as he drove to the workshop. His thoughts were like a whirlwind. Was he really ready to take steps toward change? The shadows of corporate profits lurked in the corners of his mind, whispering doubts and old habits. Arriving at the workshop, he stepped out, feeling the weight of his work shoes against the hard ground. Lily was there, her hair a wild halo of joy. She spotted him and squealed. "You came!" She didn't wait for a response. Instead, she grabbed his hand and pulled him inside. The workshop was a jumble of tools and machinery, smelling of oil and grease. a stark contrast to the vibrant scene he had experienced at the park. "Dad!" she called, her voice echoing. From the back room, her father appeared, a burly man with a soft smile. "What's all the ruckus?" Lily beamed, pulling Mr. Thompson into the light. "Look, Dad, this is Mr. Thompson. He's going to help us today." The surprise in Mr. Thompson's eyes was genuine. He hadn't expected this partnership. "Help? I'm not sure I can—" "Nonsense," Lily's father interrupted, stepping forward with a firm handshake. "You're just in time. We could use an extra hand around here." Mr. Thompson's heart raced as Lily's father moved to the shelves, grabbing tools with efficiency. "It's all about working together," he continued, his voice warm. "We all have skills, and when we join forces, great things happen." As they settled into the rhythm of the workshop, Mr. Thompson began to feel a spark of energy he hadn't felt in years. Together they inspected a vintage car, its faded paint and worn leather seats telling a story of love and hard work. Lily watched with wide eyes, her admiration clear. "You see, Mr. Thompson, this car can be incredible again, just like you can make the factory better." Her words hit him deep. Could he really transform something worn out into something beautiful again? "Why don't you take a look under the hood?" Lily's dad encouraged, handing him a flashlight. "There's magic in discovery. You never know what you'll find." With a hesitant breath, Mr. Thompson crouched down. The darkness of the engine bay contrasted sharply against the brightness of the day outside. As he shone the light in, he spotted more than dusty parts. He saw potential, beauty, and hope. Slowly, he reached in to feel around, letting his fingers explore the intricate system. Suddenly, a clang echoed, jolting him back. A tool had slipped from Lily's father's hand. "Oops, see? Mistakes happen, but we learn from them." He laughed it off, and the warmth in the room surged. They worked for hours, laughter replacing the shadows of uncertainty. With each twist of a wrench, every shared story, Mr. Thompson felt the heaviness lift. He was no longer just an executive. He was part of something bigger, a community, a family. As the sun dipped lower, casting a golden hue, Mr. Thompson glanced at Lily, who was beside herself with excitement. "Do you think we can make a difference?" Her eyes sparkled. "I already believe we are." Just as a wave of contentment washed over him, a text buzzed in his pocket, shaking him from the moment. It was from the board. A meeting was scheduled, and the topic was the factory's future. His heart sank. Could he truly risk everything he felt growing here? Would he betray the bond he had forged with Lily and her father? When he looked back at them, uncertainty clouded his vision. The weight of the moment threatened to crush him again. What path would he choose? The tension was palpable. As he stood at the crossroads between love and duty, reality crashed in. Would he step into the light, or retreat into shadows? And what would he say to Lily and her dad when they asked about what lay ahead? Mr. Thompson felt the weight of his phone pressing against his thigh like a heavy anchor. The room around him faded. The vibrant workshop now felt constricting. He had come in hopeful, ready to embrace a new path. But now this message from the board loomed over him like dark clouds rolling in. Lily, still brimming with excitement, tugged at his sleeve. "Mr. Thompson, are you okay?" Her voice cut through his spiraling thoughts. He forced a smile, but inside, he felt like he was cracking apart. "Yeah, just thinking." "What kind of thinking?" she asked, her innocent curiosity tugging at his heart. "Big stuff." He looked around the workshop, then down at her. "Like making choices that really matter." Her eyes widened, sparkles of determination shining through. "Every choice matters. Just like fixing this car, we can make it amazing again." Her father joined them, wiping grease from his hands onto a rag, sensing the shift in energy. "What's happening here?" he asked, looking back and forth between them. Mr. Thompson hesitated. He wanted to pour out his fears, to speak from his heart. But how could he shatter the hope shining in front of him? I have a decision to make. Is it about the factory? Lily's father was keenly aware of the burden Mr. Thompson carried. Are you worried about its future? The heaviness of that question hung in the air. Mr. Thompson could feel his heart racing again, but this time it was wrapped in determination. He had never shared his doubts with anyone, let alone an 11-year-old girl and her father. "Yes," he admitted at last. "There's a meeting I have to attend. It's about the factory, how we're moving forward." Lily frowned, her brow furrowing. "But you've been so happy here. You can change it, just like you're changing the car," he nodded, moved by her conviction. "But there's more at stake. I've made promises to the board. I could lose everything if I don't deliver." "Mr. Thompson," her father said, stepping closer. "What matters most, the factory or what you're creating here?" Their questions pierced deeper than he expected. He had spent too many years chasing profits and numbers while neglecting the very essence of why he entered this field in the first place. Lily placed her small hand on his arm. "You can be a hero. You just need to stand up for what's right." The words hit him hard, and he felt a rush of warmth that pushed back against the doubts coiling in his mind. Could he truly take a stand? Tension tightened in his chest, battling with the spark of hope that was igniting. "What if I fail?" he questioned, looking at both of them. "Everyone makes mistakes," Lily replied firmly. "But it's what you do afterward that counts. You've already made a difference here, changing this car. You can change the factory, too." Mr. Thompson's breath caught in his throat. This little girl saw more in him than he had in a long time. There was power in her belief, a warmth that wrapped around him like a comforting blanket. As the sun dipped further, the space around them turned golden, shimmering with possibilities. He felt at a crossroads once more, but the path ahead felt illuminated, shimmering with hope instead of shadows. Could he embrace this moment of truth? Could he let go of his fears and forge a new path forward, one rooted in love and integrity? Just then, his phone buzzed again, bringing him back to reality. Another message, a reminder that the board was waiting for his reply. He took a deep breath, turning toward Lily and her dad. "I have to decide, but maybe I don't have to do it alone." Their smiling faces brought him courage, and he knew. The meeting would happen, but it wouldn't be just about profits. He could fight for change, for something real. The three of them stood together, a unified force against the tide of uncertainty swirling around his heart. "Let's finish fixing this first," Mr. Thompson said, determination swelling in his chest. "And then I'll figure out the rest." Lily grinned, and her father nodded, pride glimmering in his eyes. As they turned back to the car, excitement pulsed through him. He was ready to embrace the challenge ahead. But as he picked up a wrench, the phone buzzed yet again. A third message. This time, it was an unexpected name, the CEO of the parent company. What could they want now? The question hung in the air, thick with promise and uncertainty. Mr. Thompson stared at his phone, disbelief washing over him like cold water. The CEO's name glared on the screen, a flashing reminder of the world he'd been desperate to leave behind. With shaking hands, he clicked on the message, heart pounding as his eyes scanned the words. "We need to discuss the future of the factory. Please meet me tomorrow at 9. Your decision could be crucial." His gut twisted. Did he want this? Did he want to step into the lion's den? Lily's voice interrupted his thoughts. "What's it say?" She tilted her head, her enthusiasm unwavering. Mr. Thompson hesitated. The burden of his world clashed with the lightness she radiated. "It's important," he replied, trying to mask his dread. "You'll make the right choice," she encouraged, her face beaming with innocence. "I believe in you." He felt an overwhelming swell of emotion in his throat. In this moment, her faith in him felt like a lifeline. "Thanks, Lily. I appreciate it." With a quick breath, he forced himself back to the car. The remnants of metal and rust lay before him, its potential gleaming like the sun that dipped below the horizon. It somehow mirrored his own hidden potential. The thought sparked something inside. What if he could change more than just this vehicle? Lily's father shifted closer, sensing the tension still lingering in the air. "What's your plan, Mr. Thompson?" His voice was steady, grounded. "I don't know yet, but—" Mr. Thompson picked up the wrench again. The familiar weight felt oddly comforting. "I want to fight for the people at the factory, not just the bottom line." "You've got to do what's right." Her father nodded, pride blossoming in his expression. "No one knows the factory better than you. It's your home." Mr. Thompson smiled softly, their words sparking a flicker of courage within him. "You're right. I can't just walk away from the dreams we've built there." Lily chimed in, a determined gleam in her eyes. "And you're already starting to make a difference here. Look how far we've come with this car." He looked at her, a wave of warmth spreading through him. Her passion ignited something he thought was lost forever. This was why he entered the business in the first place. Passion, connection, purpose. As they resumed working, tools clanging and laughter bubbling, the workshop filled with life. He felt every action they took slowly solidifying his resolve. "Can I hand you that wrench, Mr. Thompson?" Lily offered, her excitement palpable. "Of course!" He laughed, realizing he hadn't felt this lighthearted in ages. Just as they secured the final bolts, Mr. Thompson's phone buzzed again, this time a soft vibration that felt like a tiny earthquake under his fingertips. "Who is it this time?" asked Lily, peering over curiously. He glanced down and saw a notification, but instead of dread, this time he felt a rush of adrenaline mixed with anticipation. "It's a video call request from the CEO." His heart raced. Did he want to answer? What if... He hesitated, tasting the bittersweet mixture of fear and hope. "What if I could change everything?" Lily looked up at him, her optimism unyielding. "You can, just like the car. You fix it one step at a time." Gathering his breath, Mr. Thompson glanced back at Lily and her father. The warmth of their support wrapped around him, shielding him from the fear creeping in. "Okay," he said, resolve settling into his bones. "Let's do this." As his finger hovered over the screen, the uncertainty loomed larger than life. But within that uncertainty flickered a beacon of hope and determination. Could he really step into that call and carve out a new direction? For the factory, for its people, for himself. The moment felt electric, suspended in time, as he pressed accept, ready to face whatever came next. The burden of promise forging him anew. What awaited him on the other side of the call? Would he be brave enough to confront the challenges ahead? The screen flickered to life, and there he was. Mr. Collins, the CEO, with an air of authority that filled the room, even through the digital haze. His sharp features softened slightly as he caught sight of Mr. Thompson. "Ah, there you are. I was beginning to wonder if you'd pick up," Collins said, his tone revealing a hint of casual confidence. Mr. Thompson's heart raced as he tried to collect his thoughts. There were so many things he wanted to say, yet his voice felt small. "Mr. Collins," he began, but the words caught, tangled like old wires. He had imagined this moment, rehearsed it even, yet now it felt like floating on a tightrope over an abyss. "Let's not waste time," Collins interrupted, his gaze sharp. "We both know why we're here. The factory is facing unprecedented challenges. I need to know where you stand." "Right," Mr. Thompson said, forcing the word through clenched teeth. "I want to discuss the workers, the community, their futures. He couldn't believe he spoke it out loud. A flicker of surprise crossed Collins's face, quickly masked by his usual composure. "We have to think about productivity and profit margins first, Tom," he said, the name slipping through his lips with a casualness that felt dismissive. "The factory might need downsizing." Downsizing? The word felt like a punch to the gut. "You can't. Not after everything we've built there." Mr. Thompson's reminder hung in the air, a weighty silence punctuated only by the gentle hum of machinery in the background. He could feel the echoes of the factory's heartbeat, the lives entwined with its fate. Collins shifted, leaning forward slightly. "Listen, I'm trying to be realistic. You've spent your life at that place, but sometimes, let's face it, change is necessary. We can't cling to nostalgia." "No," Mr. Thompson shot back, a flicker of fire igniting within him. "This isn't just about numbers. It's about people. I've seen those men and women put their hearts into their work. We're not just cogs in a machine. I refuse to let our dreams get crushed for a mere bottom line." Collins narrowed his eyes, surprised by his intensity. "So you want to fight for them? Risks can be dangerous, Tom. What if you lose everything?" "Maybe," he replied, the defiance steadying him. "But I've already lost part of myself by ignoring what matters. If they're at stake, then I have to speak up." Just then, the corners of Collins' mouth twitched, a fleeting smile. It was almost refreshing, like a breeze cutting through the stale air. "You always were passionate. That's why I wanted you in that role. All right, let's talk turkey." His business acumen resurfacing. "Tell me your plans, but know this. I only invest in winners." Mr. Thompson felt the tension ease in his shoulders, a trickle of hope fueling his pulse. Here was an opening, a chance to align their divided visions. "Winners don't just aim for profit, sir. They build communities. It's going to take more than just charts and figures. I have ideas, practical steps we can take together to stabilize production while keeping the workforce intact." "Interesting," Collins replied, the challenge blooming in his eyes. "Let's see what you've got." As Mr. Thompson laid out his vision, sustainable practices, community engagement, and innovative projects, each word felt like a seed planted, full of possibility. It was as if every idea ignited a spark among the doubt. Hope began to flourish, growing roots in the soil of his intention. But as the conversation progressed, a shadow began to linger at the backs of his thoughts. Would it truly be enough? Would the CEO buy into a vision that deviated so far from the norm? After what felt like hours of dialogue, Collins held his gaze, the tension crackling. "Let's take some time to think about this, Tom. I'll get back to you soon." "How soon?" Mr. Thompson asked, still feeling the adrenaline of their exchange. Collins offered a non-committal nod. "Soon." As the call ended, Mr. Thompson sat back, heart still racing. He felt lighter, yet an echo of doubt persisted, a reminder of the uphill battle ahead. "Did you do it?" Lily's voice broke through his thoughts, her eyes alight with curiosity. "Yes, I think I did." For a moment, everything felt electric, but deep down, questions festered. Did he truly have what it took? Or was this just a fleeting high of hope? A soft rustle from the workshop drew his attention as Lily knelt by the car, a screwdriver in hand, ready to keep working, just as he was. In her energetic spirit, he found solace. "Let's fix this car together," she exclaimed, and for a moment the weight lifted. But with the uncertainty still swirling, Mr. Thompson couldn't shake the feeling that the biggest challenge was yet to come. What awaited him next as he navigated the delicate balancing act of hope and reality? Would he truly be able to change not just the factory, but his very own life? Mr. Thompson felt a familiar warmth in his chest as he watched Lily maneuver the screwdriver with precision. It reminded him of the factory workers, each one pouring their passion into their craft. Part of him wished he could work alongside them, just as he was now with her, forgetting about the looming storm of uncertainty. "Do you think it'll really run again?" she asked, peering up with wide, hopeful eyes. "Absolutely," he replied, tapping the car's hood affectionately. "Just like the factory, it just needs a little love and care." Lily grinned, her enthusiasm palpable. "Can we give it a cool paint job too? Like bright red?" The idea of transforming the car into something both functional and beautiful made her bounce on her toes. "Bright red it is," Mr. Thompson chuckled, feeling lighter. In this moment, it was easy to forget the weight of responsibility pressing down on him. But as they worked on the car, he couldn't shake the feeling that maintaining a balance between hope and realism would be a constant battle. He thought of the call with Collins. Could he really persuade him to see the factory's potential beyond profit margins? Suddenly, the workshop door creaked open, and Mr. Henderson, an older worker from the factory, stepped in. His face was lined with years of hard work and wisdom. "Hey, Tom, Lily," he greeted, wiping his hands on a rag. "What are you two concocting?" "A car," Lily exclaimed, her pride spilling over. "Dad says it's going to be a racer." Mr. Henderson smiled warmly. "A racer, huh? I might have a few tricks up my sleeve if you want some help." He glanced at Mr. Thompson, his expression morphing into concern. "Tom, you look a bit troubled. Everything all right?" Mr. Thompson hesitated. "Just some tough discussions at work. Trying to figure out how to keep the heart of the factory beating. Sounds like a heavy load." The older man nodded, understanding the stakes. "You know, sometimes it takes more than just talking. You need to show them what those workers mean to the community." "That's the plan," Mr. Thompson said, sitting at the edge of the workbench. "But what happens if they don't see it? What if I fail?" "Failure is part of progress," Mr. Henderson said, his voice steady. "You've got passion on your side, son. You've built relationships, trust. Remember, it's not just about bottom lines. It's about lives." The words sat with Mr. Thompson, grounding him like an anchor in stormy seas. He needed to get Collins to see that the people behind the numbers mattered. How could he articulate that in a way that pierced through the corporate veil? "Let's race this car first before racing with corporate ideas," Lily giggled, breaking the tension. Mr. Thompson chuckled, but her exuberance ignited a flicker of inspiration within him. What if he held a community event, involving families, showcasing the workers, highlighting the skills and dedication each one brought to the factory? It could be a powerful visual representation for Collins. Why not make it a family affair? Mr. Thompson voiced his thoughts out loud, a plan beginning to take shape. A day where workers can bring their families to the factory, show off what we do, what we build together. "That's a great idea," Lily cheered, clapping her hands. But Mr. Henderson raised an eyebrow. "Just be careful. Make sure you have support behind you. These things can be tricky." Tricky, he thought, but exciting. If he could pull it off, perhaps they could sway Collins toward the heart of their mission. Not just numbers, but the stories and lives that intertwined within those factory walls. As they continued to work on the car, the plan formulated in Mr. Thompson's mind became clearer. If they could unite the factory and community through this event, it might prove to Collins that change didn't always have to mean loss. "Let's make it happen," he said at last, conviction flooding his voice. Mr. Henderson nodded approvingly, but as the elder man's gaze drifted to the window, the warmth of the moment dimmed. "Just remember, Tom." He paused, glancing at Mr. Thompson with a mixture of hope and caution. "No one wants to see their dreams dashed. Sometimes you have to fight for them in ways you didn't expect." The weight of that statement settled over Mr. Thompson like a heavy blanket. Could he navigate through the obstacles lying ahead? Would Collins see the potential he saw in the factory? "Let's get this car ready first," he said, forcing a smile despite the tightness in his chest. The road ahead was full of uncertainty, but one thing was for sure. He wouldn't fight alone. What unexpected hurdles would emerge as Mr. Thompson prepared for the battle ahead? And would the community rally behind him when he needed them the most? As the laughter faded from the workshop, Mr. Thompson's mind buzzed with the possibilities of the event. He could visualize the scene, a vibrant gathering of families, the sounds of laughter mingling with the clank of tools, the smell of fresh paint filling the air. It would be a celebration of hard work and camaraderie, a day to showcase not just machines but the very heart of their community.
"All right, Lily, let's finish up this car first," he said, injecting a fresh dose of enthusiasm into his voice. They resumed their task, hands busy with tools, their collaborative energy flowing seamlessly. Every turn of the screwdriver, every adjustment felt like they were building something more than just a vehicle. They were building hope.
Mr. Henderson watched with a knowing smile, but soon his gaze turned serious again. "Tom, have you talked to any of the other workers about this? They might have ideas too. It's a team effort after all." "Not yet," Mr. Thompson admitted, a hint of uncertainty lacing his words. "But I plan to. I need to get everyone on board. If we're going to make a statement, we need unity." "Exactly." Mr. Henderson's voice was steady and encouraging. "People stand stronger together. You can inspire them, but they need to feel the chance for their voices to be heard." A light bulb flickered in Mr. Thompson's mind. He thought of reaching out not just to the factory workers, but to their families. What if he could organize meetings where everyone could contribute ideas? A brainstorming session that would empower them. This wasn't just about him leading the charge. It was about everyone feeling included, invested in the outcome. "Let's do it," he said, his heart racing. "I'll set up some meetings. We'll find out what everyone wants and needs to make this day special." Lily jumped back, her excitement palpable. "Can I help, Dad? I want to be in charge of the decorations. Maybe even a booth for face painting." "That's perfect," Mr. Thompson laughed, the weight on his shoulders lifting just a bit. They worked late into the afternoon, determination guiding their motions. The car was coming together, just like the plans budding in Mr. Thompson's mind. But as they packed up their tools and prepared to leave, an unsettling thought crossed his mind. Collins had always been about the numbers, relying on cold calculations and spreadsheets. How could he break through that barrier? Would passion and creative spirit even measure up against profit margins in Collins's eyes? "Dad?" Lily's voice broke into his troubled thoughts, pulling him back to the moment. "When are we racing the car?" He paused and looked into her bright, eager eyes. This little girl had been a constant source of light for him. "As soon as we get it finished." "How about next weekend?" she gasped. "Can you teach me how to drive it?" Mr. Thompson hesitated, his heart skipping a beat. "One step at a time, sweetie. First, let's make it run. Then we'll see about driving." As they walked toward their car, he noticed the way the sun began to set, casting a warm glow on the factory walls. But alongside the beauty was an underlying nervousness. The following days would be critical. Rallying support would involve courage. He needed to elevate the voices of the workers, showcase their stories, not just to Collins, but to the community, to remind everyone what they all were capable of when united. Just then, Mr. Henderson came up beside them, gazing at the fading sunlight with thoughtful eyes. "Remember, Tom, it's about heart. When you ignite the passion within others, you fuel change." "Yeah," Mr. Thompson nodded, feeling a mix of determination and fear. "I just hope I can light that fire where it needs to burn." With that, he resolved to reach out to each family in the factory, connecting hearts and hands. But as he planned his next steps, another nagging feeling took hold. What if the workers didn't trust him? What if they thought he was only trying to save himself? Was he prepared for the truth that could emerge when he sought support? Or would it reshape everything he believed in? Anticipation swirled in the crisp evening air around them like a promise. As hope filled his heart, Mr. Thompson knew that the road ahead was fraught with uncertainty, but he also felt the pull of possibility drawing him in. Would the community stand with him when the time came? The next morning, Mr. Thompson awoke with a renewed sense of purpose. The sun streamed through the window, and the world outside hummed with the promise of a new day. He glanced at Lily, still lost in her dreams, and his resolve solidified. He had to do this. He had to be the one to bring people together. After breakfast, he gathered his courage and pulled out his notebook. He began drafting messages to send to the factory workers and their families, inviting them to an open meeting that afternoon. His heart raced as he penned the words, wanting to encapsulate that feeling of unity. They were a family, a big, chaotic family, but one that worked hand in hand. As he printed out flyers and folded them neatly, anticipation bubbled inside him. Would they see his vision? Would they trust him enough to share their thoughts? Each question felt like a stone in his stomach, but he pushed through. This was about more than just a car and a day of celebration. It was about building connections that would last well beyond the event. Once at the factory, he stuck the flyers on the walls, making sure they were visible to everyone. "Meeting today at 4. All ideas welcome," he proclaimed, a bit louder than he intended, surprising himself. But the words felt right, and he could already imagine the diverse voices coming together. Throughout the morning, Mr. Thompson busied himself with the car. He and Lily worked side by side, her small hands helping where they could, scribbling playful designs on paper for decorations. Laughter filled the space as they painted the car's fenders bright colors and brainstormed fun ideas for the event. By the time the clock ticked towards 4, nerves twisted in his stomach. He helped Lily finish her painting, and then they walked to the meeting area together. When they arrived, he found a growing circle of familiar faces, some smiling, some subtly skeptical. "Hey, everyone," Mr. Thompson greeted, trying to capture everyone's attention. "Thanks for coming. I wanted to talk about our upcoming event." He took a breath, his voice growing steadier. "This is a chance for all of us, to share ideas, to celebrate all our hard work and our unique stories together." A buzz of conversations erupted. Hands rose as people began sharing their thoughts. Some suggested games for the kids, while others proposed local food stalls. Each idea built upon the last, weaving itself into the tapestry of community spirit. There was laughter, joy, and even moments of heartfelt emotion, as people connected in ways Mr. Thompson had only hoped for. As they shared, he noticed Mr. Collins lurking on the outskirts, arms crossed, his expression unreadable. Doubts crept back into Mr. Thompson's mind. Would Collins appreciate this effort? Was he simply viewing it as a financial burden? But he quickly pushed those thoughts aside, redirecting his focus to the ongoing brainstorming. This was theirs, and they deserved to enjoy it. Finally, as the meeting drew to a close, Mr. Thompson felt a swell of hope. People who had been distant were suddenly animated and engaged. As they left, he overheard snippets of conversations, plans being formed, and laughs shared. The energy was electric. Just as he was about to wrap things up, a gentle voice interrupted him. "Mr. Thompson?" It was Marilyn, a quiet woman who had just joined the factory a few months ago. She stood with her young daughter, her eyes shining with courage. "My daughter thinks we should have a booth where kids can help build toy cars. What do you think?" Touched, Mr. Thompson smiled widely. "That's a brilliant idea. Let's make it happen." Lily clapped her hands together and bounced excitedly. "Can we, Dad? That would be so much fun." "Yes. We'll get the supplies," he replied, looking at Marilyn with gratitude. Together, they were building something beautiful. As they wrapped up, Mr. Thompson felt a weight lift from his shoulders. He had not only gathered ideas, but forged an unexpected alliance. But even amidst the joy, a question gnawed at him. What would Collins actually think of all this? Would he hold back their progress for the sake of profits? As the last members left, leaving behind a buzz of excitement, Mr. Thompson stood quietly, tension rising in his chest. The weight of what lay ahead weighed heavily. Could they truly create a change that would last? The answer lingered in the air, like a suspenseful melody waiting for its resolution. What monumental truth would the upcoming confrontation with Collins uncover? The day of the community event dawned at last, bursting with energy and anticipation. The sun poured golden light over the factory grounds, where stalls were set up. Laughter echoed, and faces painted bright colors sparkled in the sunlight. Mr. Thompson stood at the entrance, his heart beating in rhythm with the excitement around him. He had transformed the vision he had into a reality. And now, alongside Lily and the other workers, they were ready to celebrate the community they had built. The smell of grilled burgers wafted through the air as families gathered at local booths, each one more colorful and lively than the last. Children darted from booth to booth, faces smeared with ice cream and glitter. Mr. Henderson ran a station teaching kids to tinker with toy cars, and Lily was proudly directing the painting booth, her little hands moving quickly. A whirlwind of ideas literally splashed in bright colors across the table. "This is amazing!" Lily exclaimed, her cheeks flushed with joy as she ran over to Mr. Thompson, her arms flailing in excitement. "Look at all the people. They love it, don't they?" "Yes, they do," he replied, his spirits soaring as he watched everyone engage with each other. This event was everything he had envisioned, and more. Families were connecting over shared passions, and those moments of unity were worth more than any profit margin that could ever be calculated. But just as he began to relax, a shadow passed over the sun. Mr. Collins arrived, his presence commanding attention. He walked through the crowd with an air of authority, crossing his arms as he scanned the area. The chatter around him slowly hushed. Nervousness settled over the crowd like a heavy blanket. Taking a deep breath, Mr. Thompson approached Collins, heart racing. "I'm glad you're here," he said, trying to match his confident facade. "Welcome to the event." "Yeah, well, it seems more like a carnival than a factory showcase," Collins remarked, surveying the vibrant display with a mix of skepticism and curiosity. "Are you prepared for the consequences of this spectacle?" Mr. Thompson squared his shoulders. "This is about celebrating the people who keep that factory running. It's not just numbers, Mr. Collins. It's about lives and stories," he replied with urgency. "You have to understand that this is about our community. If the workers see that we care about their contribution, it will push us to new heights together. I hope you realize this won't save us if the bottom line isn't met. Workers will rally around the idea. But what do you expect from them? Loyalty over paychecks?" Collins countered, his voice edged with doubt. Just then, a familiar face interrupted them, one of the older factory workers grinning with pride. "Mr. Collins, come see this. The kids are building toy cars just like we do at the factory." Before Collins could argue further, Mr. Thompson took the opportunity. They wandered together, stepping closer to the kids, who were beaming with pride as they assembled miniature vehicles with the help of their parents. The laughter, joy, and sheer sense of achievement pulsed through the air, and for a moment, Collins was silent, captivated by the scene. "What are we building here?" Mr. Thompson asked, looking out over the crowd. "A connection, a family, something that can withstand the storm?" Collins nodded slowly, the tension in his shoulders easing as he watched the transformation unfurl. "It's not just about toys or whistles, is it?" he mused, his guarded demeanor softening. "No," Mr. Thompson replied lightly, emboldened by the energy around him. "It's about restoring the heart of the factory, the people who create, innovate, and share their dreams in this very community." He gestured broadly, inviting Collins into the moment. As they wandered through the lively booths, thriving conversations surrounded them. Workers shared their stories, and families joined in, all enriched by the camaraderie of a shared goal, preserving their factory and their town. Moments later, Lily emerged from the crowd with a burst of enthusiasm. "Mr. Collins, look what I painted!" She proudly displayed her colorful painting of a racing car with flames and a smile drawn on it. "Quite the masterpiece," Collins remarked, the corners of his mouth twisting upward in an unexpected smile. You've done well. Just like the factory, she exclaimed, eyes sparkling with hope. It can be amazing, too. For the first time, Mr. Collins seemed to consider her words deeply, the joy around him rippling through the armor he had built over the years. Later, as the sun dipped low on the horizon, Mr. Thompson stood with Lily and the other families. A small stage was set up for an informal gathering, and the cheers erupted as stories were shared on how they all had come together. Moments like this are why we work so hard, Lily said, her eyes glistening. Together we can do anything. I think you're right, Lily, Mr. Thompson replied, looking around proudly at the faces lit up with renewed energy. Each of them, rather than a cog in a corporate machine, was part of something far more significant. And as Mr. Collins stepped forward, there was a collective holding of breath in the crowd. Everyone, let's hear from our CEO, Mr. Thompson announced, excitement shimmering in the air. He knew they all held their breath. Would Collins embrace this new vision? With a deep breath, Collins began. You've all shown me something important today. Our factory is more than just productivity. It's about our people. I see what you've all built here. The crowd cheered, and Mr. Thompson felt a warmth envelop him. He finally felt it. The shift that had been building within him, ignited by Lily's belief and the support of the community. Together, they had fought, and they had won. As the event came to a close, smiles decorated every face, and laughter echoed through the air. In the warm glow of the sun setting on their glowing workshops, he finally recognized the truth. Change was possible, and together, they could thrive. With their hands joined together, they were not just fighting for their factory, they were claiming their rightful place at the heart of a community. Now this is where the journey began. You need to subscribe now. Don't wait not even one more second to share this inspiring transformation with at least 5 friends. Let them know that hope lives in community, and love fuels change. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and help spread this uplifting story, and comment your feelings about the ending. Only true fans understand the importance of supporting the channel through these actions.